Hello, and thank you for being with me again. I wanted to talk this time about one of Jesus' teachings that people have a lot of difficulty with, and to quite an extent see as being rather impractical. And my purpose is to show how it is actually the only sensible way of living. And I base what I have to say on the Gospel of St. Luke, chapter 6, verses 27 and 28, when Jesus says, "I say this to you who are listening, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who treat you badly." I think it's safe to say that none of us like to have enemies. None of us like to have people hating us. None of us like people cursing us. And none of us like to be treated badly. However, our normal response, or the normal response one comes across in the world, is to return like for like, rather based still on the Old Testament idea of an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But how then do we avoid these situations, or how can we help to reduce these situations in our lives? And how we do that is following Jesus' example. When Jesus says, love your enemies, I'm sure we all know that one way of not turning an enemy into a friend is to treat them as an enemy, pushing them away, trying to put them down, and so on. That certainly doesn't lead to friendship. When he says, do good to those who hate you, if someone hates you, it may be the result of how they perceived some action of yours, but they may be wrong. And so treating them with hate is certainly not going to turn that hate into friendship and love and caring for each other. When he says, bless those who curse you, someone who curses you is obviously angry and wishing ill on someone else, shows an illness inside of us when we do so. And what better way to counteract that evil than to call a blessing on that person? And finally, pray for those who treat you badly. When people treat you badly, it's because there's something lacking in their lives. They're unhappy with something in themselves. It's almost never a direct result of what you've done. And so they really do need your prayer. They really do need to be able to overcome this way of seeing you and of seeing the world. And as I said in the beginning, I think we can all accept that this is the only way of overcoming these difficulties in our lives. You see, as long as we treat enemies as enemies, as long as we return hate for hate and so on, we are perpetuating these situations. And one of our goals in life, whether we want to label our lives as being Christian or not, is to make this world a better place for us having been here. And the only way, as I say, that we can do so is the way that Jesus points out for us, by returning love for enemies, for people behaving as enemies, by doing good for those who hate us, and so on. These ways will bring people to change their way of behaving as well. But what is required is that we remember that as Christians, we are called to act and not to react. You see, when you act, you decide what you're going to do. When you react, you allow the other person to decide what you're going to do. And so if the other person treats you well, you treat them well. If the other person treats them badly, you treat them badly, and so on. Well, that is reacting. And somewhere, this spiral of that type of way of relating to one another has to end. And if it's not going to end with you, who do you want it to end with? Who do you expect to step in and change it if you're not prepared to? And so this calling is very sincere and very real, but it's also the only sensible way of living our lives, so that as we progress through life, our relationships will become more positive for us and for those we come into contact with, and will make the world a better place for us being here. And this is my prayer for you, that your world may be a better place for you having been here. And may God bless you. Thank you.